In a small, quiet town, where the streets were lined with old trees and the air was filled with the scent of blooming flowers, lived a girl named Mia. She was bright and full of life, with a smile that could light up even the cloudiest days. But lately, Mia felt a heavy weight in her heart. Her best friend Jake had moved away to a big city, and the distance between them felt like an unbridgeable chasm. Every day after school, Mia would come home to an empty house. She missed the sound of Jake's laughter and the way they would spend hours talking about their dreams for the future. They had been inseparable since childhood, sharing secrets and adventures, but now it felt as if a part of her was missing. The vibrant world around her faded into dull colors without him. Mia often stared at her phone, wishing she could call Jake, but every time she thought about reaching out, doubt crept in. What would she say? Would he even want to talk? The fear of rejection held her back, and she found herself feeling more alone with each passing day. She missed their late-night conversations, where they would share their hopes and fears under the stars. Now, the stars felt distant too. One evening, as Mia sat on her front porch, she watched the sky turn shades of pink and orange. It reminded her of the sunsets she and Jake used to watch together, their dreams intertwining with the colors of the sky. Maybe I could send him a message, she thought, her heart racing at the idea. But the thought of putting her feelings into words made her hesitate. What if he had forgotten about her? What if he was too busy with his new life? Days turned into weeks, and Mia's sadness deepened. She felt like a ghost in her own life, drifting through each day without purpose. But despite the heaviness in her heart, a small flicker of hope remained. She remembered the promises they made to each other, to always support one another, no matter the distance. I have to do something, she decided, determination rising within her. One rainy afternoon, Mia sat at her desk, staring at a blank piece of paper. She picked up her pen and began to write. "Dear Jake," she started. As the words flowed from her heart, she felt a sense of relief. She poured out her feelings, sharing how much she missed him, how lonely she felt, and how she wished they could reconnect. She wrote about her dreams for the future and how she still believed in their friendship, no matter the distance. After finishing the letter, Mia felt a sense of accomplishment. She folded the paper carefully and placed it in an envelope. The next day, she walked to the post office, her heart racing with anticipation. Sending the letter felt like a leap of faith, and she hoped it would reach Jake's hands. As she dropped it into the mailbox, a sense of hope washed over her. Maybe this was the first step in rekindling their friendship. Days passed, and Mia waited anxiously for a reply. She checked the mailbox every day, her heart fluttering with excitement and anxiety. Finally, one sunny afternoon, she found a letter waiting for her. Her hands trembled as she opened it, revealing Jake's familiar handwriting. "Dear Mia," it began. As she read, tears of joy filled her eyes. Jake missed her too. He shared stories of his new life, but he also expressed how much he cherished their friendship and wanted to stay connected. Mia felt a wave of relief wash over her. She quickly wrote back, sharing her own stories and dreams. They began exchanging letters regularly, each one filled with laughter, memories, and hope. Through their words, they rebuilt the bridge that distance had tried to tear down. Mia discovered that even though they were miles apart, their friendship could still thrive. As time went on, Mia felt more hopeful than ever. She learned that distance didn't have to mean the end of their bond. Instead, it became a new chapter in their story. They began to plan a visit, counting down the days until they could see each other again. The anticipation filled Mia with joy, and she realized that true friendship could withstand anything. Finally, the day arrived. Mia stood at the train station, her heart racing as she waited for Jake's arrival. When she saw him stepping off the train, a rush of emotions flooded her. They ran toward each other, and in that moment, all the distance and loneliness melted away. They embraced tightly, tears of joy streaming down their faces. "I missed you so much," Mia exclaimed. "I thought I'd never see you again." Jake smiled, his eyes sparkling with happiness. "I never stopped thinking about you, Mia. No matter where I go, you'll always be a part of me." They spent the day exploring the town, just like they used to, laughing and reminiscing about their childhood adventures. Mia felt whole again, as if the missing piece of her heart had returned as the sun began to set. They found themselves on the same porch where Mia had once sat alone, feeling distant and sad. This time, however, they sat together, the weight of loneliness lifted. "I'm so glad you're here," Mia said softly. "I was afraid I'd lost you." Jake looked at her earnestly. "You could never lose me. We're connected, no matter the distance. We'll always find our way back to each other." In that moment, Mia realized that even when life pulls people apart, love and friendship can bridge any gap. She felt hopeful for the future, knowing that their bond was strong enough to endure anything. Together, they had overcome the distance, and in doing so, they had discovered the true meaning of connection. As the stars began to twinkle in the sky, Mia leaned against Jake, feeling grateful for the journey they had taken. She no longer felt alone. She had found her way back to someone who mattered deeply to her. And perhaps, just perhaps, she had offered a piece of herself that she thought she had lost forever. After their heartwarming reunion, Mia felt like her world had brightened. The laughter they shared echoed in her mind, and the memories of that day filled her with warmth. Yet, as the days turned into weeks, a familiar sense of unease began to creep back into her heart. Jake had returned to the city, and with each passing day, Mia felt the distance between them growing once again. Even though they promised to write to each other regularly, Mia worried about how life would change them both. She missed their spontaneous chats and the way they could talk for hours without running out of things to say. The thought of losing that connection haunted her, and she found herself staring at her phone, waiting for messages that sometimes took too long to arrive. Each time a notification popped up, her heart raced, only to feel a pang of disappointment when it wasn't from Jake. Mia tried to stay busy. She focused on her schoolwork, joined a new club, and even took up painting. While these activities distracted her, they couldn't fill the void Jake left behind. One afternoon, while painting a sunset, she found herself thinking about the last sunset they watched together. The colors blended beautifully, just like the bond they shared. "I need to reach out," she thought. "I can't let this distance take him away from me again." Taking a deep breath, Mia picked up her phone and began typing a message. "Hey, Jake, I miss you. How's everything going in the city?" She hesitated before hitting send, fear creeping back in. What if he didn't want to talk? What if he was too busy for her? But she reminded herself of their promise and pressed the button. A wave of relief washed over her, but she still felt anxious, waiting for his response. The next day, Mia received a reply. "Hey, Mia, I miss you too. Things are good, but it's not the same without you. Let's video chat this weekend?" Mia's heart soared. They set a time for Saturday, and she spent the week excitedly planning what she would wear and what she wanted to say. When Saturday arrived, Mia was nervous but hopeful. She cleaned her room, set up her laptop, and even made popcorn for their virtual movie night. As the time approached, she felt a mix of excitement and anxiety. Would it be awkward? Would they be able to connect like they used to? Finally, the screen lit up, and Jake's face appeared. "Hey." He smiled, and Mia felt the familiar flutter in her chest. They talked about everything: their daily lives, school, and the new friends they had made. Yet, As the conversation flowed, Mia couldn't shake the feeling of distance. Jake looked happy, but she sensed a barrier between them. As if the city had changed him somehow. They decided to watch a movie together, just like they used to do. Mia felt a surge of nostalgia as they laughed at the same jokes and shared their favorite parts. But even in those joyful moments, Mia felt the underlying sadness of their separation. After the movie, she wanted to talk about how she felt, but the words caught in her throat. Instead, she smiled and tried to hide her worries. As the video call ended, Mia felt a mix of happiness and sorrow. They had shared a great time, but the distance still loomed large. I need to do something more, she thought. I can't let this distance define our friendship. The following week, Mia brainstormed ways to reconnect. She remembered the times they wrote stories together, creating fantastical worlds filled with adventure. Inspired, she decided to write a story about their friendship, how they had overcome challenges, and how important they were to each other. It would be a way to express her feelings without fear of vulnerability. Mia poured her heart into the story, crafting a tale where two brave heroes faced a treacherous journey, overcoming obstacles and finding hope in each other. As she wrote, she felt a sense of empowerment. The characters embodied the strength of their friendship, reminding her that they could conquer anything together, even distance. When she finished, Mia printed the story and folded it neatly, placing it in an envelope. Mia felt a surge of joy after her last conversation with Jake. They had reconnected, and their friendship was beginning to blossom again, even across the miles. But as the days turned into weeks, she still felt a lingering sadness. Although they spoke often and shared stories, the reality of their separation weighed heavily on her heart. It was hard to ignore the distance between their lives, and she worried that the connection they had fought to rekindle might slip away once more. One afternoon, Mia sat in her room, staring at the wall. Her mind wandered back to the adventures. She and Jake had shared climbing trees, exploring the woods, and dreaming about their futures. They had always been each other's biggest cheerleaders, but now it felt like a part of her was lost without him. She missed their late-night talks and the comfort of having him nearby. Determined not to let sadness consume her, Mia decided to take action. She remembered how much she loved writing stories and how it had helped them bond in the past. I'll write him a story, she thought. This time, I'll make it an adventure where we both overcome challenges together. With renewed energy, Mia grabbed her notebook and began to write. She envisioned a world where they were heroes on a quest, facing trials that tested their friendship and courage. The story flowed from her pen, and as she wrote, she poured her heart into it. She described thrilling escapades, moments of laughter, and the strength they found in each other. Each word reminded her of their bond, igniting hope within her. After finishing the story, Mia felt a sense of accomplishment. She printed it out and carefully folded it into an envelope, writing Jake's name on the front. This will show him how much I care, she thought, feeling hopeful. She walked to the post office, her heart racing with anticipation, and sent the letter off with a smile. Days passed, and Mia found herself checking her mailbox every day. Finally, she received a reply from Jake. Mia, I loved your story. It made me feel like we were on that adventure together. I miss our time so much, he wrote. Her heart swelled with happiness. They were still connected, despite the distance. They arranged another video call, and Mia felt excited yet nervous. This time, she wanted to talk about her feelings openly. When they connected, Jake greeted her with a big smile. Your story inspired me, he said. I've been thinking a lot about our friendship and how important it is to me. Mia felt relieved. I've been feeling distant lately, she admitted. I don't want to lose our connection. I want us to stay close, no matter how far apart we are. Jake nodded thoughtfully. I feel the same way. I think we need to make more effort to stay in each other's lives. We can share our dreams and support each other, even from a distance. Their conversation flowed easily, filled with laughter and shared memories. They talked about their dreams for the future and made plans to visit each other more often. The more they talked, the more Mia felt a sense of hope. She realized that while distance could be challenging, it didn't have to define their friendship. Inspired by their discussion, Mia suggested they start a project together. What if we create a blog? She proposed. We can share our stories, thoughts, and adventures. It will be a way for us to stay connected and inspire others. Jake's eyes lit up at the idea. That's brilliant. Let's do it. He exclaimed. Over the next few weeks, they worked together on their blog. They shared their favorite stories, wrote about their dreams, and even included tips on how to maintain friendships despite distance. Each post brought them closer together, and Mia felt the loneliness she had experienced begin to fade. They had found a new way to connect, and it filled her with hope. As their blog gained followers, Mia felt proud of what they had created. They received messages from people who were inspired by their friendship and the adventures they shared. This feedback motivated them to keep writing and exploring new topics. Mia realized that their bond was more than just a friendship. It was a source of strength and inspiration for others. One evening, as she sat at her desk writing a new post, Mia received a message from Jake. I was thinking about our next adventure, he wrote. What if we plan a trip together? We can explore a new place and make even more memories. Mia's heart raced with excitement. That sounds amazing. Let's start planning, she replied. They began discussing destinations, dreaming of places they had always wanted to visit together. The thought of finally reuniting filled Mia with joy. It felt like a new chapter was beginning in their friendship. As the weeks went on, they continued to plan their trip while keeping the blog updated. Mia felt a sense of purpose and excitement. The distance that had once felt overwhelming was now just a stepping stone toward their next adventure. They were creating a future filled with possibilities, and each day brought them closer to that goal. Finally, the day of their trip arrived. Mia could hardly contain her excitement as she packed her bags. She felt like a kid on Christmas morning, ready for an adventure. When she arrived at the train station to meet Jake, her heart raced in anticipation. The moment she saw him, all her worries melted away. They hugged tightly, feeling the warmth of their friendship wrap around them. The trip was everything they had dreamed of and more. They explored new places, took countless photos, and laughed until their stomachs hurt. Each moment reminded Mia of the bond they shared and how it could withstand any distance. She felt alive and full of hope, knowing that they had overcome the challenges that had once threatened to pull them apart. As they watched the sunset on their last evening together, Mia turned to Jake. I'm so grateful for you, she said, her voice filled with emotion. You've shown me that distance doesn't have to break us apart. We can always find our way back to each other. Jake smiled and nodded. Our friendship is stronger than any distance. I believe in us, and I always will. In that moment, Mia realized that their journey had transformed her. She had learned to fight for her friendships, to express her feelings, and to embrace hope. The distance that once felt like a barrier had become a bridge, connecting them in unexpected ways. As they returned home, Mia knew that their adventures were far from over. They had built a foundation of trust and love that would carry them through any challenges. Their friendship was a testament to the power of connection, and Mia was ready to face whatever came next with Jake by her side. With hope in her heart, she smiled, knowing that no matter where life took them, they would always find their way back to each other together. They could conquer anything. Mia and Jake's trip had been a dream come true. Their laughter echoed through every city street they explored, and each new experience brought them closer together. But as they returned to their daily lives, Mia felt a familiar weight settle back in her heart. The distance between them was still real, and she worried about how their friendship would survive once they were apart again. After they returned home, life resumed its usual pace. School projects piled up, and Mia found herself busy with homework and activities. Yet, despite her packed schedule, she felt a lingering emptiness when she thought about Jake. Their video calls and messages were wonderful, but she missed the spontaneity of having him nearby. She missed their late-night talks and the comfort of knowing he was just a short walk away. One evening, as Mia sat at her desk, she scrolled through her phone, looking at photos from their trip. Each picture brought a smile to her face, but it also reminded her of the distance. "I can't let this happen," she thought. "I need to reach out more. I need to make an effort." Mia decided to create a new plan to stay connected with Jake. She thought about how much they both loved storytelling and how their blog had brought them joy. What if we tell a story together, chapter by chapter? She wondered. We can. Write a story where we are the main characters, facing challenges and adventures as a team. With excitement bubbling inside her, Mia sent Jake a message. "Hey, what do you think about writing a story together? We can take turns writing chapters, and it'll be like an adventure we share." Jake replied almost instantly, "That's a great idea. I'm in. Let's make it epic." His enthusiasm made Mia's heart swell with hope. They decided to set a schedule for writing, each taking turns to add to the story. This new project felt like the perfect way to connect, and Mia eagerly anticipated. Their writing sessions as they began their story, Mia felt a spark of creativity. They decided it would be about two heroes on a quest to find a legendary treasure, facing obstacles along the way. Mia wrote the first chapter, introducing the characters and setting the stage for their adventure. She poured her feelings into the words, capturing both the excitement and the challenges they faced. When Jake received the first chapter, he was thrilled. He quickly wrote the next part, adding twists and turns to the plot. Their creativity flowed effortlessly, and they spent hours crafting their story. Each chapter brought them closer together, and Mia felt the distance between them shrink with every word as they shared their chapters. Mia also took the opportunity to open up about her feelings. "You know, I've been feeling a bit lonely since our trip," she confessed in one of their conversations. "I miss having you around. Sometimes it feels like we're drifting apart again." Jake paused, and Mia could see the concern in his eyes through the screen. "I miss you too, Mia. I think about our adventures all the time, but I believe we can keep this friendship." Mia sat at her desk, feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness. The video they had created together with Jake had been a huge success, gaining more views than they ever expected. Their friends and followers loved the story of their friendship and the adventures of the characters they had brought to life. Yet, despite this success, Mia still felt a nagging sadness. The distance between them still loomed large, and she worried about how they could maintain their connection now that the initial excitement had faded. After the video launch, Mia and Jake had been busy with school and personal projects. They still communicated regularly, but life was pulling them in different directions. Jake was busy with his new friends in the city, and Mia was focused on her studies and extracurricular activities. As much as they tried to stay connected, Mia felt a growing distance between them again. One rainy afternoon, Mia found herself staring out the window, watching the raindrops race down the glass. She missed Jake terribly. The memories of their recent trip flashed through her mind, the laughter, the shared moments, and the sense of adventure. "How do I keep this friendship alive?" she wondered. "How do I reconnect with him?" Determined to find a way, Mia decided to surprise Jake She remembered how much they both loved exploring and going on adventures. What if I plan a virtual adventure for us? She thought. We could go on a treasure hunt through our memories, sharing old stories and photos. With a spark of inspiration, Mia began to put her plan into action. She created a list of places they had visited together, important moments they had shared, and funny anecdotes that always made them laugh. She also gathered photos from their past adventures, ready to share them during their video call. That evening, she sent Jake a message. "Hey, I have a surprise for our next call. Let's have a virtual adventure together. I want to take us on a treasure hunt through our memories." Jake replied with enthusiasm. "That sounds amazing. I can't wait." When the day of their virtual adventure arrived, Mia was filled with excitement. She set up her laptop and prepared her notes, making sure everything was ready. When Jake logged on, he wore a big smile, and Mia felt her heart lift. "Welcome to our treasure hunt," she announced playfully. "Are you ready to explore our memories?" Jake laughed. "Absolutely. Let's do this." Mia started the adventure by sharing a photo from their first camping trip together. "This was the time we got lost in the woods," she said, giggling. "Remember how we panicked, but then found our way back thanks to the stars?" Jake chuckled. "How could I forget? We thought we were going to be lost forever." As they moved through their shared memories, Mia felt the distance between them shrink. They laughed and reminisced about their adventures, each story bringing them closer together. They discussed their dreams and aspirations, encouraging each other to keep pursuing what they loved. As the call continued, Mia felt a wave of warmth and hope. "This is what I've been missing," she realized. "Our friendship is strong enough to overcome any distance." After their adventure, Mia suggested they create a new project together, one that celebrated their friendship. "Let's write a new story about our adventures, but this time, let's include all the memories we've shared," she proposed. Jake's eyes lit up again. "That sounds like a great idea. We can write about the treasure hunt itself." They spent the next few weeks writing and sharing ideas, weaving together their past experiences into a new narrative. Each chapter was filled with laughter, challenges, and the lessons they had learned along the way. Mia felt inspired as they worked together, knowing that even though they were separated by distance, their bond was as strong as ever. One day, as they were writing, Mia had a thought. "What if we share our story with everyone? We could inspire other friends to keep in touch, no matter how far apart they are." Jake agreed, excited by the idea. "Let's do it. We can show that friendships can thrive even when life pulls us in different directions." They finished their story and decided to create a digital book. Mia designed the layout, while Jake contributed illustrations based on their adventures. It was a labor of love, filled with colorful images and heartfelt words. When they finally published the book online, they felt a sense of accomplishment and pride. The response from their friends and followers was overwhelming. People loved the story and shared it with others. Many commented on how it inspired them to reach out to friends they had lost touch with. Mia felt a rush of hope. Their friendship was making a difference, reminding others of the importance of connection. As they celebrated their success, Mia realized how much she had grown. She had taken the initiative to reach out, to create, and to share her feelings. It was a lesson in the power of hope and the strength of friendship. One evening, after a successful day of promoting their book, Mia and Jake had a long conversation. "I'm so glad we did this," Mia said. "It's made me realize how important it is to keep our friendship alive, no matter the distance." Jake nodded. "Absolutely. This has been an amazing journey for both of us. We've turned challenges into opportunities. I believe we can continue to grow together, even if we are miles apart." As they spoke, Mia felt a sense of peace. The distance that had once seemed daunting now felt manageable. They had found ways to reconnect and build a strong foundation for their friendship. In the following weeks, Mia and Jake continued to create together, sharing their stories and encouraging each other. They planned future adventures, both virtual and in person. The hope they had built through their projects became a source of strength, reminding them that true friendship could withstand anything. As Mia lay in bed one night, she reflected on her journey. The challenges of distance had led to creativity, connection, and growth. She felt grateful for Jake and the bond they shared. With hope in her heart, Mia drifted off to sleep, dreaming of new adventures and the exciting future ahead. She knew that no matter where life took them, they would always find their way back to each other. Together, they could conquer anything, and their friendship would continue to shine brightly, lighting the way forward. As the seasons changed, Mia found herself in a whirlwind of emotions. The leaves were turning vibrant shades of red and gold, and the world outside her window was transforming into a beautiful autumn landscape. Yet, despite the beauty around her, she felt a deep sense of longing for her best friend, Jake. Their connection had grown stronger through their writing and creativity, but she still felt a distance that sometimes made her heart ache. After finishing their digital book and sharing it with their friends, Mia and Jake had been busy with school and personal commitments. They had kept in touch, but the excitement of their project began to fade into the background of their everyday lives. Mia often thought about Jake, wondering how he was doing in the city, but she hesitated to reach out, fearing that their conversations might feel forced or awkward. One Friday afternoon, as Mia sat in her room with a mug of hot cocoa, she felt a wave of sadness wash over her. She missed their late-night talks, the laughter they shared, and the feeling of being understood. How can I bridge this gap? She wondered. How can I let him know I still care? Suddenly, Mia remembered something special. They had talked about visiting each other during the holidays. What if I surprised Jake by visiting him? She thought, her heart racing at the idea. I could make plans to show him how much he means to me. With a burst of determination, Mia began to plan her trip. She researched train schedules and how to get around the city. She wanted everything to be perfect, from the time they spent together to the little surprises she would have for him. She even made a list of things they could do, including visiting a cool museum, trying out a new restaurant, and exploring the parks. As the day of her trip approached, Mia could hardly contain her excitement. She packed her bag carefully, including some of their favorite snacks and a small gift for Jake, a photo album filled with memories from their adventures. It felt like a way to celebrate their friendship and remind him of the bond they shared. Finally, the day arrived. Mia woke up early, her heart racing with anticipation. She took a deep breath, reminding herself that this was a chance to reconnect with her best friend. When she arrived at the train station, she felt a mix of butterflies in her stomach and a warm glow of hope. The train ride felt like an adventure in itself. Mia watched the scenery change from her window, her mind racing with thoughts of what it would be like to see Jake again. Would he be surprised? Would things feel the same? As the train pulled into the city, Mia felt a rush of excitement. She quickly made her way to Jake's neighborhood, her heart pounding with each step. She had texted him earlier, saying she had a surprise for him, but she hadn't given away any details. When she reached his apartment building, Mia took a deep breath and pressed the buzzer. A moment later, she heard Jake's voice on the intercom. "Hello? Who is it?" Mia grinned, unable to hold back her excitement. "It's me, Mia. I'm here." There was a brief pause, and then she heard the sound of the door unlocking. Moments later, Jake appeared, his eyes wide with surprise. "Mia, you're here." They jumped into each other's arms, and Mia felt a wave of warmth. I wanted to surprise you, she said, laughing. I missed you so much. Jake looked genuinely happy. I can't believe you made it. This is the best surprise ever. They spent the entire day together,